So this journey that we had went on together, I think what I'm trying to do is just dissect and make sense of what had happened to us. And I remember saying, I think the last time I spoke was where the past, present, and future meet the pause during that Om. And I remember when I was explaining to my wife all these things that I felt, and I remember telling her it was like that's how you time travel. I felt like I had time traveled, and yeah, it was just really weird. It was just the things that I was saying that I would normally not say. But as I was hitting that singing bowl, I remember hitting it harder and harder, and going to the slider and roaring, and I remember when I looked in there, I saw this eye, and it was really just like I felt like I was being watched. And I know my wife was going, "Whoa, what's going on?" And I remember she kind of reminded me of like how I was spitting in it or something. Not really spitting, but just kind of like making that gesture in a way. But it was like I don't know what it was, but I just remember that eye. It was the size of that bowl in there, and yeah, it's just yeah. But that was another little episode that I had felt, and I feel like something was connected to the pineal gland, like the pine cone. They say the pine cone shape, the eye, um, and some chemicals, some natural chemicals that we have internally that had been woken up and mixed together, and it just kind of, that this book, the DMT dialogues, just kind of triggered something. I said it felt like a lot of similarities and parallels, and it just like it's like I feel like, and I think it's a um, healing light of the Tao. Um, how they talk about these breathing exercises. They give you all these breathing exercises for meditation, and if I recall, one of them is um, having your tongue at the roof of your mouth and rolling it and meditating. But it's like I feel like once you activate something, um, it's like you're secreting from that pineal gland where it drops down, um, and it's like a higher vibration. Um, it's just a higher feeling. Um, yeah, but it just kind of made me think of that. About I notice that when I have my tongue at the roof of my mouth a lot, and it's like I feel like something's secreting into the tongue and dripping into my system down lower. It's like a filter or something. Um, but anyways, I was just thinking like, the DMT, the pineal gland, and then I come across alchemy. The ancients and alchemy, where they turn the base metals into gold, and it's like to purify it into gold. So and alchemy, chemists, DMT, chemical, um, alchemy, science. I think it's a new words now. They change over time. Science. You have the protons, electrons, and the quarks. it's like, I feel like that's where they got it from, was the alchemy. And it's like a transformation. Um, it's like almost like they weren't interested in the actual gold. It was more metaphorically. It was meant for like emotional balance and wholeness within yourself. I think they figured if they can make it on the outside, it can be done on the inside as well. I know I usually say from inside out, but it was like something like they were performing. They were going through, like I said, a transformation of I don't know the steps, but it's like putrefaction, calcification, all those steps just to get that pure gold, that immortality in like a sense of a philosopher's stone or emerald tablet. And it was learning about the self and that joining those unions within each other of the masculine and feminine, and the divine, the spirit, the soul, the spirit. But it was just interesting because I'm reading this book, A Most Mysterious Union, and it's the role of alchemy in Goethe's Faust. And it's interesting what they talk about. They talk about the alchemy in that, like, I think the guy's name is Stephen Wilkerson. He's a MD, PhD, and he talks about how alchemy is in Faust. And he also talks about Carl Jung and alchemy. There's another couple other ones that Jeremy Raff, which studied at I think the Young Institute, and Gerard Dorn, which is even before them. So they talk about these unions, these 3 stages, and they talk about how the ego sees that unconscious in the first stage, and the second stage, how it's your unconscious and your conscious, how they join together. And the third stage, I know they have a couple little difference in opinions on a few of them, but like the third stage, there's a couple different opinions, I think, and it's like how they join with the divine. It's like what I feel like it's the spirit and the soul that unite together, and meet and join and fuse, and that's what it felt like. It felt like these chemicals had joined together and fused and like crystallized, like crystals, like the minerals, and it just I just had so many different episodes throughout that time. But I just remember it was like I felt like when I had come back, like I had received this map, and it takes me to, I know I'm bouncing around a lot, or maybe quite a bit, but just trying to dissect it in my thoughts. Like I received this map, and when I came back, it's like I had to go backwards to retrace them. And the other thing is, it was like when I came back, like I said, all my pain was gone. My physical, my emotional, everything. I mean, I had so much pain physically. Physically, my up down into my bones, I could feel it. it was like the oxygen was getting cut off. And I know I've said this before in different things, but it was like the oxygen had been getting cut off for a long time, and I didn't know. I couldn't see it. I couldn't feel it until it was released, and it felt like I had broken these chains, like this weight on my shoulders had just lifted off of me, and it felt like a breaking of the chains. It felt like a release. Felt like a salvation in a way, just I don't know. I just was thinking about that, but now I got off track. But how they talk about the joining, and reminds me of another thing as in joining wise. I remember when I was in some trance. I don't even remember, because I was doing these, felt like they were like these rituals and like shamanism in a way, like bringing out another part of me, my other half, and it felt like I was doing these chants and these movements with my hands and my feet, and like I was trying to bring it out forward. And I just remember at one time I don't even remember, but I came out of it eventually. But I just remember I was doing like this figure 8 movement, and as I was erect, as I was standing vertical and perpendicular, I was doing this figure 8, so a motion of an 8, where I was standing right in the middle of it, and it was forward, backwards, forwards, backwards, it was a lot of, I was doing opposite things when I came out of everything, and like, rotation wise, it was reverse, and it was with my right hand rather than with my left, because I'm left-handed, so I was doing a lot of things with my right hand, and I was almost like rebalancing. Felt like I was readjusting and rebalancing. And that 8, I remember that 8 because I remember it in my mind, because I remember doing it as I was closing my eyes, and I just remember, and it was like I was going around my eye sockets in a way, and it was a flow of an 8, of an infinity symbol. But getting back to that map, and that's where I feel like, when I said I was going through my DNA, and how it took me back to out of Africa, and how I felt like I was this bull and I was in Egypt, and I was on the very corner and overlooking my wife, which I was protecting her like the queen, and just the pyramid. I remember the pyramid, and I remember that. I remember the map, like I remember like Orion's belt, like one specific one, which was called Alnitak, and I just remember that star of Orion's belt, and I remember when I came back, I wrote some things down, like Jupiter, Ceres, and this star that I didn't know what it was. I never even heard of it, which was Antares, and it's the heart of Scorpio. And I didn't know what that was, but I didn't know what it was at the time, but now I know it's the heart of Scorpio. But it was like I remember the bull, being a bull, and so I kind of was thinking of the zodiac sign, Taurus being the bull, which to me, I remember the Aldebaran, which is the eye of Taurus. I think of Thor, of lightning, thunder, and the opposite of that is Scorpio, Scorpio, and I remember Leo, the lion, and Aquarius. The opposite is Aquarius. So I know I'm just thinking way outside the box, but I think like, okay, that's house 2, house 5, house 8, house 11. So, those numbers to me, come to 26. It's being in 30 to 60 degrees is the house 2. It's like 120 to 150, house 5. It's 210 to 240, house 8. And house 11 is 300 to 330 degrees and on a wheel on the zodiac. And it's like, those are, to me, with those numbers of the houses come to 26, and that reminds me of the tetragrammaton, which is 26, Yod, He, Vav, He. And it's like these things just kind of, I'm just, like I said, I'm just thinking just different things. And it's like, numbers, I put numbers to a lot of things. And it just, 26 and being 8 and infinity. I just think about things like that, like trying to dissect what had happened with us. And, my wife went through a lot too, but it was like both of us went through the same thing in a way. Had different experiences, but it was the same thing. Excuse me. It all came together. All comes together. And I think about that like learning of the self, of your inner self. It's like, our map is within us, and everything we need is from within inside. We have to know ourselves. And the things that get you further are the distractions of anger, of everything like that. Everything that's that is not good for your body. So those distractions get you farther away from, what your purpose is and why you're really here. I think that was it. I think I just kind of had a few thoughts in my mind, and just kind of wanted to get them out there, just let them go. But yeah, that the alchemy is really interesting, and how it's been around for so long, for thousands of years, and what they were trying to accomplish, of joining the soul and the spirit as one, bypassing the polarities, joining all those together and being well balanced, well centered. Knowing that your soul is connected to the spirit of the all, of the one. Kind of think of like how It reminds me of like how I think I said last time I saw this jellyfish, and I read this book on Tesla the Wizard, and how he talks a lot about he was just so far ahead of his time, and how he talks about the electromagnetic waves and transmitter and receiver, and trying to create this free energy for everybody, and that jellyfish kind of reminds me of the transformer, what I saw, the picture. It just reminded me of that. It was like, whoa, that just looked like that transmitter, that transformer of creating free energy for everyone. So we won't have to worry about energy paying for it. But yeah, it's interesting how he talks about creating this free energy from Mother Earth, in the ground, and having that connection to the universe to create all this free energy. But yeah, it was just really interesting. But the electromagnetic waves kind of really, I really enjoyed that book, The Wizard. It just, talks, like I said, it talks about a lot about electromagnetic waves and for healing purposes. Like I think of that, the staff of Mercury, the caduceus, the staff of Moses, the medical symbol that we still use to this day of healing. And I feel like to heal ourselves, we have to get rid of all that emotional and physical pain. Especially the emotional pain is what's masking that physical pain, vice versa. It's just both ways, and you can learn how to heal yourself, regenerate within. I'm not saying surgery wise. Of course we need surgery, but with natural, holistic things, meditations, nature, and that's where I come to, or nature with the DMT. How they talk about the plants and having this DMT everywhere. The Fibonacci. It's like we were made to learn how to heal our own bodies through natural plants, through all this holistic beauty of nature that God had left us through Mother Nature. Yeah, it's just that's why I think I'm so big on just on saving the rainforest, on nature. There's not a lot of it. We've cut so many roads and built so many houses. It's time to readjust, to rethink. Yeah, it's taking care of Mother Nature. I come back to that. It's having that care, that love for Mother Nature, being out in the open, that peacefulness that when you go camping or anything, when you go out there, when you go walking, it's just so peaceful, to hear nothing, to hear the birds, to see the squirrels, to all those things, even to drink the water that's there, all that natural water coming down off the rocks from the rains. We're provided with everything that nature gives us. All we have to do is look and see. Yeah, So that's it. Thanks.